Hi guys, this is Blue-Eyed Ghost Trick. I'm coming at you with a deck profile on Dragon Rulers. I was asked in my other comment list for my first deck profile I did to do a Dragon Ruler, so here it is. I'm sorry if I've kept you waiting, Prime Dragon. It's been a long, hectic week. I'm gonna get straight into it, okay? Two Flameville Guards. Oh, where are you guys going? Two Flameville Guards. The reason I use two is any more than that it clogs, and then if I put it at one, I never really see it. It's also a target for Blaster. I'll show you what I mean soon. Blaster Dragon Rule of Infernos can obviously, it can discard that and another fire monster, and you can pop one card on the field. It gets it to the graveyard, which means it can be brought back using any other Reborn type card in the deck, and there's quite a few of them. So run two, it's also a tuner, which is a good target for Card of Continents. Then the Terrible Foursome, I think, or the Fantastic Four if you want to call them. Redox, Tidal, Tempest, and Blaster. Blaster is the one you should always have in the deck. Next up is Tempest, and then after that Redox. And I'd probably say take out Tidal if you absolutely have to, because there's no water cards in here you can use its effect with. Redox is a free monster reborn. If you discard it and another Earth monster, that adds any dragon monster to your hand if you discard it and another wind monster, and there are a few in this deck. And Blaster, if you discard it along with a Flameville Guard, you get to pop any card on the field. And obviously once they're in the graveyard, you can then bring them back by banishing two dragon monsters. So definitely really good, the main engine of the deck, and where most of your ranks come from as well, because unfortunately they are brought back to your hand at the end of your opponent's next end phase, after you've special summoned them using this effect. So you need to make sure that you XYZ if you want to keep them, okay? So you run those. One each, unfortunately. I use two Whitestone of Legends. I don't run any Blue Eyes in this deck. I used to, and I'm testing something new, and I just wanted to put this up on the internet really, and I want you guys to actually tell me what you think of this engine, because I've never used this engine before. This is new to me, but I definitely want to see how it goes. So I'm going to be testing it. You guys please leave your comments and let me know what you think. This is obviously a tuner. You can discard it. No Blue Eyes will come to your hand, but at the end of the day, you do get two cards if you discard it for the Card of Continents. Then I run one Dragunity Corseska. I really wish I'm pronouncing that right. It's another tuner, it's another target for Card of Continents. Its secondary effect doesn't really work because you can't equip it to anything because it's not a Dragunity deck. Also, if you guys have a Dragunity deck, please let me know what it's like because I really want to make it. So that's also a wind card, which is another target for Tempest. I run one Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. If we were allowed, we would all run more than one. It's a one-man army. It can just bring cards back from the graveyard once per turn. And also, it can be special summoned by banishing a monster. So let's have a little example here. If I decide that I special summon Blaster by banishing any dragon monster, I can then banish that to summon this, and then this card's effect activates when it's banished. I get to add a fire monster from my deck to my hand, and then you come into this, and then you can overlay, you can synchro summon into Star Eater if you had one. So definitely run obviously one of those. The next one is a test. I got it recently. I'm only keeping it in there because it helps with the rank 7s. Odd Eyes Dragon. Not a great effect. It can when it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can inflict half the attack as damage to your opponent's life points. It just helps with the rank 7s because I can special summon it using Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. I also use Chaos Sorcerer in here simply because there are, I think, 4 dark monsters, I believe, and a fair few light monsters as well in this, I believe. Just, if you don't want it, take it out, obviously, and if you do want it, then keep it in there. It's a good card. It helps with banishing cards that are problematic. You'll want to keep it. I think I actually only run like 2 light monsters, so I probably will take that out. I just don't have anything spare. Spear Critin, highly, highly underestimated card, and I really think that people should give this card more credit. When it's flipped face up, and it's destroyed and sent to the graveyard, both you and your opponent select one monster in your graveyard face up or face down in defense mode, or face up in attack mode, and you can special summon it. So you can ignore the summoning cost of the Dragon Rulers immediately, or you can help with Synchro plays and XYZ plays. It's a little bit slower because it has to be attacked by, obviously, it has to be attacked to be flipped face up. But the good thing about this deck is that most people will attack it once they think you haven't got anything remarkable on the field because your Dragon Rulers are back in your hand. Honest is only in here, I think, for a light target, and because I think that there's a few cards in here that are still light. I'm just trying to search my brain now for which ones are, apart from the Card of Continents. But it's always funny when you put the Dragon Ruler, the Blue Eyes egg on the field, and then you put this on the field. They just think, what? It's a good lot of fun. One card trooper, I would run one more if I had another one, but I feel like one is actually perfectly fine. You mill 3 cards, you gain 500 attack for each of them. It actually works better this way because if you do happen to have 2 of them, you may mill more of the deck than you need. All you need to do is mill 6 cards in total. I think you'll get 1 or 2 of your Dragon Rulers out, so just one of those. Debris Dragon. Debris Dragon is in here because I need it to summon other monsters from the graveyard that are obviously weaker than it, like the under 500 attack points. Most of them are tuners, but you can bring it back if you have something else on the field to tuner into that, and then you can synchro summon into something else as well using Debris Dragon. Got pretty beefy defense, 2000. As long as you got this on the field and then you want to bring back some Dragon Rulers, you can attack, and if you've got a weaker monster on the field, synchro summon on your main phase too. Now, I think you just saw that, obviously, but the engine I'm using is Plant. Spore. This card can come back from the graveyard only once in the duel, but if you do, obviously you're allowed to bring it back by banishing a plant monster and it gains the level. And I'll show you the plant monsters that there are in the deck, and you'll be pretty surprised at what you can actually do. So always run one, obviously, because we're only allowed one. 2, I'm so happy this has gone up to 2, Lone Fire Blossoms. Tribute it, bring any plant monster on the field you want out onto the field. You can also, if you want them in the graveyard early for whatever purpose, have a Lone Fire Blossom tribute itself to bring out the other Lone Fire Blossom. Even though it says once per turn on it, because it's a new card, its effect only applies to itself, so you can just do that again. So it's not, you can only activate its effect once per turn, it's just once per turn you can activate this card's effect. So run 2 of them because you're only allowed to. I use Dandelion, because obviously you can bring it out using Lone Fire Blossom, and then of course you get your 2 tokens, even if it's sent to the graveyard. Even if you mill it by accident using the card trooper, you still get the tokens, which can be used for later purposes. So definitely keep that. And these 2, they're tests, but they do work remarkably well with the Dragon Rulers. Fallen Angel of Roses. If you have 3, you are never going to get what you need from it. Basically, you can special summon this card from your hand by returning 1 face-up plant monster you control to the hand, except a Fallen Angel of Roses. If you do, banish it when it leaves the field. This deck hasn't got a problem with banishing, and it's also an Earth target as well, so it's another helpful target with Redox. You can discard Redox and that to bring back another monster from the graveyard. I'd say run 2 of them. They're the same level as the Dragon Rulers. You can easily overlay using those. Right, now I'm going to go into the spell traps, the spell and traps. 3 card dragon shrines. People will run it at 2, I prefer it at 3. You need your dragons in the graveyard, and worst comes to worst, you run out of targets and there's an Odd Eyes dragon which does need tributes. There's no way to special summon it. Pop it into the graveyard and then you can bring it back using Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. It's also a dark monster, so it does help with the removal, so you can special summon Chaos Sorcerer. So definitely run 3. Card of Continents. I'm sorry, I don't have 3. I think I lost it somewhere. Run it at 3 if you have it, but 2 works fine for me. There's about 7... No, sorry, that's way over-exaggerating. There's 5 to 6 targets of Dragon Tuners in this deck, all with under 1000 attack. Discard any of them, draw 2 cards. You need to be able to draw. That's why there's no Pot of Dualities, because you special summon too much in this deck, and we can't use Pot of Greed. Rest in peace. So run 2 of those. Then you've got standard 2 MSTs, run 3 if you would feel more safe with that. I use 1 Silver Scry. I'm going to take it out if I can find a better card. For now, that card will work with the Flameville Guards. You can get them in your graveyard really quickly with Dragon Shrine and with any other sort of Dragon Ruler that you want if you banish it and then bring it back using the Burial from a different dimension, which is right there, and I'll show you a bit more about that card in a minute. Bring it back, it's a quick play. Your opponent may think they have you, bring a beefy 2000 defense card back, or you can just use it if your opponent decides to MST a face down. Use this card as the face down, and they've just wasted a card. Okay, Burial from a different dimension. We all know why this is banned. As soon as, basically, you can select up to 3 remove from play monsters. Most of them will be your Dragon Rulers. Return them back to the owner's graveyard. So you can then just banish again and bring them back. This can be used as a quick play, so if you're in a pinch, or if you've actually got an action plan, I would definitely recommend putting this in. If you don't, then this deck will not succeed. I have a 1-for-1, again, discarding dragons to bring out your Flameville Guards and your other cards that are like level 1s. Again, it's not necessary, I just find that it works in the deck. And I would probably take out the 1-for-1 for another soul charge. Yeah, it's costly to pay 1000 life points to bring a card back, but you are cheating the system because you're not using the banishing effects to bring back your dragons. Your Dragon Rulers need to be banished cards to special summon them. With Soul Recharge, you don't need to do that. You're just taking a bit of damage, you're giving up your battle phase, but you can overlay straight into them. So it's not a problem, especially if you get Dracosack out for it. That's giving you an extra 3 turns. Onto the traps. Right, this card, if you have 3, run it at 3. I do not have another one. I didn't think that I was going to be using this type of deck recently, so I only ever bothered getting one, but definitely get 3 of them. Once per turn, you can target one, you can banish one dragon monster from your graveyard, and of course, if you banish a dragon ruler, you can then get its effect still. And it gains, another card on the field gains 700 attack points. When this card is destroyed by any chance, and you can put a double cyclone in if you want, so you can destroy your own card and your opponent's as well. And that way you still get its effect, bring one banished card and special summon it back to the field. Again, another easy overlay. 2 Call of the Haunteds, cheating the system again with your dragon rulers, or another card if you want to. 2-dimensional prisons, because in this format it's better than mostly mirror forces and other stuff like that. And then you've got, I haven't actually got a solemn warning, I don't even know why, I've forgotten what one looks like now. Compulsory evacuation device, bottomless trapple, and torrential tribute. Now I'm going to move on quickly to the XYZ and synchro cards. 1 Black Rose, because you won't really have a level 6 on the field much. You could put in Light Pulsar Dragon if you want, it's another level 6, it helps. Stardust and Ghost Stardust, in case you can't see that. Sorry, it's not focusing. Stardust, Ghost Rare. 2 of them, I think that should be enough. It also, once your opponent gets rid of them, they'll think that they're safe. No, they're not. 1 Crimson Blader, definitely an underestimated card. I personally underestimated this, and it's another fire target, so you can banish it as well. And onto the XYZs. If you have more of them, then probably run no more than just 2 Big Eyes. For any of you that don't know, it gets to take it takes possession of one monster your opponent controls, and then that Big Eye cannot attack, but the other opponents can, and you can XYZ summon with it. If you've got 2 Draco Sacks, definitely use it in this deck, because you're going to go into that a lot more than Big Eye. Big Eye is just easier to get. For those of you who don't know, Mecha Phantom Beast is one of the rarest cards in the world, and definitely one of the most expensive cards in the UK at the moment. Not sure about America and stuff. Basically, detach 1 XYZ material from it, you gain 2 tokens, you can pop one of your tokens immediately to destroy any card on the field, but if you do, this card can't attack. And it can't be destroyed while there's tokens on the field. 1 number 74 Master of Blades, anytime a card is activated that targets this card, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. And then destroy one other card on the field, so it's essentially a 2-pop card per turn. And 1 Divine Dragon Nightfell Grand. This is in there because I originally had 2 Blue Eyes in here, but it can work if someone negates the effect of your Stardust and it's just sitting there on the field, and you have a Crimson Blader that also is negated. That's just a safety out option, okay? So that's the deck, basically. Any of you that have any questions, or if you have any comments, or even if you want me to make another deck profile, leave your comments below, I'll be happy to do it, or I'll find someone I know at my locals who will do it, okay? For now, this is Blue Eyed Ghost Trick out. See ya!